Hi, and welcome to Foundry of Titans. Today we're going to be exploring about leverage and how you can use it in your business. What is leverage? Leverage is using resources, tools and strategies to amplify your results without increasing the effort. Why does leverage matter for entrepreneurs? Leverage allows you to compete with larger companies without having the same amount of employees and infrastructure. Leveraging time. So one of the ways that you can increase the leverage in your business is to use more automations, systems, to automate parts of the business so you don't need to have your hands on it, and so you're not buried in the business. You can use scheduling software, email automations, and AI linked in with all of these through platforms like N8N to allow you to automate the mundane and the monotonous and assist in the customer service, so you can focus your time on the more important strategic parts of the business. The next way of leveraging your business is to use outsourcing. There's many different places that you can outsource. Fiverr, Upwork, where you can employ people to do bits of the work that you don't want to do or can't do, so then that way you can focus on the bits that you are skillful at. The next way is smart borrowing. A lot of people will use their credit cards for all sorts of things, but often they're using their credit cards and financing in the wrong ways, and that gets them into trouble and ends up with them being over leveraged. You can use smart financing like 0% credit cards to do short-term borrowing to expand the business, as long as you've got a clear strategic plan as to how that is going to bring in more revenue to the business. Then that way you can keep the business's money in the account and use other people's money to expand. And also, debt is tax deductible. So if your business has debt, then that also means it isn't making a profit, so there's less tax to pay at the end of the year. This is how you can use finances to save you taxes and so you have more money. For financial advice on that, it's best to speak to a knowledgeable accountant. You can also build a brand with leverage, so you can leverage other influencers, partners, and even your customers can give you recommendations to help you build the brand bigger and spread the word of what your brand can do for people. And now, a big one, especially nowadays, even in the last 6 months, this has changed a lot, and that's technology. With AI and all the new technology coming out, new platforms and hardware, it's never been easier to use technology to automate parts of the business and to help you scale the business without having to have so many employees. And by building AI into the core of your product, you're able to outcompete a lot of already established products out there on the market that are trying to tack AI onto the outside of their product. Now, we've also got leveraging existing assets. So if you've already got skills or networks of people, then you can leverage that to help slingshot you up higher than you would be if you didn't have them. Now, there's always a risk of over leveraging. This is where you're relying on a particular thing too much. So be it financing and credit cards, or too reliant on a particular platform. A lot of entrepreneurs and new startups make this big mistake. They'll over leverage themselves on a particular cloud platform or some other means of financing, and then they'll get themselves stuck where they'll be locked into that provider, or they'll only have that venture capital as their lifeline, and then they don't control their business anymore. They start to lose control of their business, or the cloud platform keeps cranking up the prices, and because they've got everything in that ecosystem, it's very difficult for them to move their infrastructure. This is why all of the top companies own their own infrastructure. Google didn't build their market share by using other people's computer, or what is called cloud nowadays. Neither did Facebook, neither did Amazon, neither did eBay. In fact, by them building their own infrastructure, now a lot of those actually rent out their infrastructure for other people to use. Amazon with AWS, Google with their cloud platform. So by you building your own infrastructure, owning your own hardware, you're owning your own business. So some of the actionable steps when you start your business, make sure that you start off by having some network attached storage, so you own your data. And where you can, start off with your own VPS and build your systems from the ground up. That way it can be easily migrated between providers, and you can shop around for the cheapest provider or the best value for money by looking at their hardware and comparing it between the different providers. So then that way you're getting the most money, the most power and processing for the money that you're paying. Hope this has been helpful. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and in the comments, what did you find was the most useful of the tips? If you'd like to donate to the channel to help keep the channel going, then there's links in the description for Bitcoin and Doge for sending donations, and I'll be making more videos soon. All the best, be strong, smart, and learn well.